Happy New
Happy New
Year!
Year! Don't get too excited either, because there are dogs in the room. There's dogs over here.
We're dog sitting right now. Two really cute pooches, and they're actually really sweet. But we don't want to make eye contact with them, otherwise they're gonna get all riled up and start causing
Are you
problems.
laughing or crying? I mean,
I'm laughing and crying because that last take that we just did was funny, and I'm bummed that you deleted it.
I didn't delete it.
You
It's
didn't
still there.
delete it, but you stopped it.
Momentum, baby.
So
Anyway, we've been doing a bunch of takes because the dogs have been. And so it's really hard not to look over at them right now. Anyway, so yeah, Happy New Year, 2023. Here we are. It's been a few weeks. We've been traveling and being sick and traveling and being more sick. Thanks to everybody else. It's not our fault. Never our fault.
why is it on top of my computer?
What's on top of your computer?
Just stuff on top of my computer. My computer's not that big. Kids. Oh, those big kids.
Yeah, definitely the kids.
Did you do that?
It was fine laying there until you started throwing it on it. Jeez.
I didn't.
Anyway, you were saying something about how the New Year.
This New Year snuck up on
snuck
me.
up on you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It snuck up on me. I was ill prepared. I wanted to be. I wanted to be more ready and inspired.
Well, even like the polar plunge.
Yeah.
It's like we kind of just like half thought of it yesterday.
Yeah.
We're like, oh wait, that's tomorrow. Oh.
New Year tomorrow.
New Year tomorrow.
Yeah. So that was a real bummer.
Is it New? I think it is New Year's when you're talking about the day, like Christmases. No. St. Patrick's.
You guys doing anything for the New Year?
The New Year. The whole year? Are we doing? Yeah, we're doing
New
stuff
Year's?
for the new.
You
Yeah.
doing anything for New Year's?
Yeah. See, I think there is a place where you can say S and it's okay.
Maybe.
Anyway, you sound a little bit stuffed up.
I definitely. Yep.
That's a good way to start the year.
I woke up. Yep. I woke up. Well, the kids. Briar had a minor sore throat this morning and
we
cough.
had a
and
birthday party with 1,000 children yesterday. We were fine. We made it whole. Both sides of the family. I think we made it. We cleared.
No, I know, but
I know there was a cough, but I think we cleared. I think we cleared the family.
yes.
And then we came home, and then
I
the
don't
people
think
from our
that's not that happened too quickly to.
too quickly. That's how it happens every time. It's like you hang out with
Doesn't
someone.
it take like 24 hours to set in, not just like a couple minutes later and you're like sick? So I
don't
think
write
it
the
was
rules.
festering. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yes, a little bit of a cold.
Now, I started to get that last night, and I was like,
And you willed it away.
hell nah, we're not starting this year like this. So it's gone. So you should try to be strong like me.
Okay.
So so 2023, we're kind of in a weird place right now, I would say.
Yeah.
Like this last 6 months feels like we didn't really do anything. Like we kind of like did a lot, and then this last 6 months was like picking up our mess. That's what it feels like to me. Not like there was a mess, but it's like when you have a fun party and then you have to pick up the party before you can keep moving on with your life. Like
Sure.
that's what I feel like this
Yeah,
last.
sure.
Maybe
It's
like
just been
3
like
months.
catch up
3
for.
months it's been.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like I'm gonna. Well, and I guess the reason why I've been saying that is because I've been working a lot. But it was like working to make up for the lack of working for. I don't know. Like for example, I told Briar that I would make a song with her. This was like 3 months ago, and like I've never done this before, but it's like I've legit been just pushing it off. And guess how many songs I've made with her since then? Zero songs. So it feels like I've been like, I've got like this cleanup to do, but it's kind of obscure and not really like, it's like there's almost like there's so many different things I could do. Well, and my tendency is too, I don't just clean up. I also like, oh, that's broken. I'm gonna fix that. Oh, I've been wanting to like update that. I'm gonna update. So I like do the typical man thing where it's like, time to clean up, and it's like
Leave
the
things
guy's
half
out there
done.
pressure washing his garbage cans or whatever on TikTok. Anyway, so they're not half done. That's not what I'm saying. As much as I just get distracted.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it. Anyway, so yeah, so we haven't even really talked about this new year yet.
No.
And what we expect from
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It was such a. It was
Yeah.
like a snowball to the face, you know?
That's
Like
not
a
fun.
shocker. What?
I said that's not fun to get a snowball to the face.
That's what it feels like.
Are you excited about this
I'm
new year?
super excited. Like, I was excited when I thought about it before, like, you know, like, I was like, oh, yeah, like, Jan 1, I know that I'm gonna just, you know, but I was gonna, like, do more, like, prepping for it to, like, I don't know why. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I'm really excited. I think there's a lot of awesome movement and potential. I'm excited and, like, disheartened at the same time, like, about things.
You're disheartened.
Yeah, like, I think I'm kind of, like, I was really hoping that there were a couple companies that were gonna, like, partner with us for Break
Oh
Break.
yeah.
And so I
or
think
like a
that's,
tour. You kind of.
I really want to do a tour,
Yeah.
and we just can't afford it. We just cannot afford it right now.
I think that we can figure out a way to do that.
I know, but here's the problem. I'm disheartened about my lack of ability to have a business brain.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and then to, like, it's like I have to or no one else will, and I wish that I could afford to buy a business brain.
Yeah, the problem
Speaking
is
of buying brains,
that's how you're gonna transition. Into,
straight into it right
so
now.
we're done talking about that.
Yep. Don't want to talk about it. Too hard. I'm kidding. No, we can talk about it. Why should I have to, like, I thought when I married you, that's what I was doing. Buying brains.
Oh, you
Business
just bought my
brains.
brain. I'm not a business brain.
You're a businessman.
We talked about this.
You know. I'm a mom.
We talked about this in our podcast, which did you go back and listen to it?
No,
You should
but I
listen to
want to be a business brain.
I don't want to be responsible for owning something.
I know you don't.
Like, I just want to, like, find out what people are excited
You know,
about.
you are a non-committal person, and I'm so shocked that you even wanted to marry me. Like, how did that even work out?
I needed someone to run fast with me.
I am
And you were,
literally
like,
the only commitment that
You
you
had the best common denominator. That's not
Other
true.
than our kids.
That's
There's
not
5 of us. There's 5 commitments that you
Okay.
have. Plus the cat.
What commitments do you
Maybe
have?
these dogs. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm serious though.
Okay, to save that for you.
Me?
Yeah, I have more commitments than you have.
I feel like I'm easily, like, I would commit to more things. Like, if you were like, I'm never leaving Port Angeles, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna settle my heart to live in Port Angeles forever, and then I would, like, figure out a way to do that, and I would do it. But because you don't think like that, I don't have to either, and I'm like, hey, okay, like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm confused. Like I said, I feel prepared. I feel prepared for this podcast. I feel prepared for this year.
You're smacking the table a lot.
I'm smacking the table a lot.
I realized when I played the podcast in the car, because I was listening to that chocolate covered, and when you smack the table, the bass thumps, and then it, like, thumps so much that it rattles, like, my rearview mirror, and it's, like, specifically when you bump the table.
Oh, we should restart because I've been doing that this.
No, I know.
entire
I'm
time.
aware of it. It's okay. It's kind of a fun thing. It's like an ear massage for anyone who has to.
Anyway,
one of my goals for let's just go through some goals.
sure, let's do that.
And
I
you have to.
haven't written
No,
any
doesn't
down.
matter. It's
Okay.
spitball. It's
Spitball
spitball
goals.
goals. You should be able to do this.
Business brain.
Yeah, or just
I'm
practice
kidding.
to get
no,
there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. No, I got it.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go for one.
Okay.
Okay.
What? Okay.
I'll go goal, and then you go goal.
Sure. What if mine's like, yeah, ditto. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that one. What if that's
No,
it?
you have to choose. Of course, we're a team, so it's like, yeah, of course you want what I want.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. One goal, easy. Set the bar low here. I would like to get a better podcast setup. And this is something that, like, not just for us, but it's like I have a lot of other people that are like, I've been thinking about starting a podcast, and it's like I want to be able to, like, have.
Oh man, I look like I've been dog sitting. That's how I usually look in all these podcasts. I'm sorry. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, you know a lot
official
of people.
podcast equipment. Okay.
I love it. Goal. Okay. Spitfire.
You don't have to, like, rush yourself, but think about like personal.
Yeah,
your
I mean, I
kids,
think
life,
my mind
travel,
has just been
exercise.
like brekkie brek. Like I really want to do.
So what's
I feel
one
like,
goal? What's a thing that you can point to? Not just like grow it. What's like a I
Yeah.
wanna blah.
I want to hit
I wanna
100,000.
I want to film with
Subscribers.
national parks or something.
Yes, I want to film with national parks and cranes and a garbage truck. Those are like 3 really easy things that I just haven't done yet. How have we not filmed with garbage trucks? It's been 4 years. Like I just want to like, and I really want to play more on the channel. Like I want to play. Like I want to like I was thinking about this the other day. Sorry, rabbit trail, kind of. I was watching our kids playing, and they're super imaginative, and they're super confident with their imagination and the way that they interact with each other. And I was like, you know what? Like, that was a little bit taught. Because the way that I played with them up in the playroom of, like, pretending that Uncle Teddy was a patient and I was a doctor. And, like, I really just, like, I wanted them to just, like, explore, like...
I would say you taught.
Yeah,
it.
I think I just like enabled that and I modeled it a lot. I facilitated it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's really valuable because even after interacting with a lot of our like nieces and nephews and friends, I'm like, oh, that's not necessarily an easy thing for kids to do, but it's super beneficial. And so I was thinking about how, first of all, my kids love playing with me, and I don't see why other kids wouldn't love to like play with me, like virtually in a way. And I think that's a safe and healthy thing to do. Anyway,
I can see
play
that.
more.
Sweet. What does that look like? Like what does that mean?
I think like legit do film some episodes where I'm pretending like again at like the Portland Children's Museum. That was a great example of just like doing that. I want to do that again. Okay. And also I just want to like have that mentality of play more even while I'm exploring garbage trucks and stuff like that. Like just like have fun with it.
Cool.
And also with my kids and with you and with dogs. Like I just want to play more. You sleepy?
I'm yawning a lot.
Yeah, go ahead. Next goal.
Because that was so boring. Just kidding. Spitfire. I want to stop doing website work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, in 2023, I want to be done doing like small business website design.
I love it.
Yeah, and like there's a lot more to that and like what that means I'm going to be doing, but I think that's just like an easy to do. So, go ahead.
I would like to eradicate sugar from my life. Just about all of it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like nice. I would like it to become so normal and I'm used to it that it's like, I don't even...
Sugar's normal or the absence
sugar?
of
No,
sugar?
like I'm saying the absence. Like I want to just be like, oh, this is normal. Some people are like, they don't have a sweet tooth. They are literally like, oh yeah, I can literally not have sugar and I'm fine. And it's like, dude, I crave it and then I have these like...
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So it just...
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. I'm saying it.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Thank you.
I'm like trying to say goals without like it leading into like this. Like I want to prepare myself to be my best self.
Sweet. No, let's talk about it. Let's just jump into it.
I mean, this pairs into both.
Sure. We're going to talk about AI now, artificial intelligence, and this has been a huge thing on his mind, and now has taken over mine, and to where I was upstairs reading and researching stuff in the Bible, in books, and I was like, I want to know.
Why would you do that when you can just have AI do it for you?
I know, I thought about that.
Okay, so if you don't know,
November 30th.
Well, I was gonna make a joke. Like if you don't know, it's too late, but probably not. If you don't know, the world is going to be a lot different, and a lot of people knew that, and some people knew what that meant or looked like. And on November 30th, the reality of how different the world is going to be was a lot more clear.
November 30th of 2022, not like futuristic November 30th.
Yeah, no, this was like a month ago. It was a lot more clear to a lot more people. Don't fart on a podcast. Why'd you fart?
Stop! Oh, I thought that was funny. Did that totally slipped out? Like you just because it sounded like a little like. I loved it. That was cute. It was like a little, like, sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to do that. I'm really sorry.
How would you feel if I did that too?
No, yeah. It would
or
be
if you had a guest on your podcast and you were like, you heard a fart and you didn't ignore it.
I mean, can you hear that in the headphones?
I don't know.
Well, we're about to find out. Anyway, continue. This is interesting. I want to hear it.
I can't have this.
You can.
Entrance to artificial intelligence and then just fart.
Are robots gonna fart? Just to be more humanistic? That's a good question. You should ask Alan that.
Alan, is humanistic a word? Anyway, all right. Sorry for farting and ruining your day.
It's a toot. Just let's call it that. What is it? What is it that Elon Musk called us that have phones like we're attached to our phones? Cyborg. I'm referring to my cyborg right now about humanistic. Continue though. Yes, humanistic. What the heck? Crazy that you even questioned that. Why did I look that up? I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. Just kidding. I'm so sorry.
It's hard to recover from stuff like this.
I know, but you got it. Let's do this.
All right. Anyway.
No, come on. Okay, so November 30th. You just have it at it now.
No, here. Okay. Let me real quick.
No.
We're gonna talk about this for a second.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about AI again. You need to practice this.
Okay.
This is what you struggle with.
Yeah.
When you.
Is that what you're gonna refer to?
No, it's more like there's an element of squirrel and there's an element of putting a squirrel in front of someone else to where they can't even get around it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think there's a performance element to podcasts.
Okay.
So it's all right, this thing, the base of why we were going to talk about this podcast, the majority of the conversation was going to be around AI.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm doing an intro for AI.
Right.
Right. And then I farted, my bad. I was going to keep doing my intro.
Yeah.
And then you were like a dog when someone farts.
Well, come on. It was distracting. Whatever. Okay.
Anyway,
I apologize.
I think it's a good moment though to now it feels weird to not cut it, go back and pretend go back into my intro. You know, it's I just want to be AI is crazy. Look at I just want to speed run it. It's if it's just a conversation, it kind of ruin the momentum, and it feels weird to not cut and go back to that.
But here's the thing.
But it feels weird.
Okay.
And I just wanted to clarify that for you so you understand.
Sure.
When you're on someone else's podcast and you hear them fart or you have a potential squirrel, don't do things that cut off their momentum. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's different if you rabbit trail yourself because it's okay, you control that energy. You're able to adjust on the fly and stuff.
Right.
If you don't know what I'm doing or someone else, another guest, or if you're talking with someone, you don't know what we're headed to or what I'm headed to. And so if you kind of and then you rabbit trail, it's I wanted this thing, and I think it's I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels like I want to cut and go back to starting that again because it was yeah, okay, we're gonna talk about no, I'm focusing on setting the scene for this you know what I mean? So
sure.
Again, I farted.
Okay.
My fault.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I'll try to get my farts out.
I was gonna say at the end of this. Hey, stop! I was at the end of this whole podcast. I'm gonna say, this was scripted by AI. But you can't.
Joke.
I know, but you can't because of stuff like that. You tooted. You can't script that.
That's not funny though. Also, because everybody's done it.
Right.
Okay. Literally everybody.
Okay, let's move on now. I want to continue
so don't
this.
make that joke.
I
Okay.
won't. I would.
Unless I legit start,
I
like,
didn't
typing a
actually.
script.
I literally didn't plan on doing it. I just made that up but. Okay. Anyways, AI is scary.
AI.
It's scary.
AI? Speaking of AI, on November 30th, go back to my script here. Just make sure I have my farts queued up here.
Did you just try to push something?
I just was making sure there's nothing in the chamber.
You're going to end up pooping your pants.
You know, I was thinking about this before we started, about how...
I'm kidding. That's inappropriate. I don't... Breaky Break doesn't talk like that. I know I'm Breaky Break. I don't talk like that.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's not the type of person that I want to be. So, 2023 goals, don't be
You
icky.
have a bunch of, like, children in the house. Why would you not talk like that?
Yeah.
Don't push too hard,
Every
or you
card
might
that
poop
I
your
get
pants.
says poopy on it or something stupid like that.
Well,
Anyway.
literally, I'm driving our car and the windows fog up, and there's just poop like written into all of the
It's
windows.
like the only word that two of them know how to spell. Greta and Maverick.
Maverick's been doing art, and he's doing these little like speech bubbles, and now they all just say poop in them. It's like a nice
It's
like
funny.
drawing.
It's funny to a 7-year-old. Okay, go ahead.
No, what I was thinking is not editing. Well, also we just kind of like, I'm wearing like this jammy shirt and like have my hair kind of like just.
You look, babe. Come on.
No, I'm not. No. The point I'm making is, a lot of times people, when they do this kind of stuff, they're like, "How do we make this? Like, I gotta cut that. There's no way I'm putting that in." And it's like, I kind of appreciate like.
Sure. So let's leave that whole toot bit in.
I'm not afraid to fart. I farted on our podcast already. I'm concerned
know.
that I'm farting too much and it makes people feel uncomfortable. It's not about
We should
me.
rename this podcast.
The Fartcast.
The fart. We don't even have a name for this podcast.
Yeah, good.
All right. Anyways, I really, this is taking too long. Anyway. Yeah. Okay.
We were
New
doing
Year's.
good. I was saying, first of all, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
What are you doing for New Year's?
Okay.
There is an application.
No, I got you.
Okay.
I'm
what are you
hearing
doing for the New Year, or what are you doing for New Year's?
Yeah.
What are you doing for the New Year, the whole year? What are you doing for the New Year?
I don't know.
Day.
Because it caught
Is
me
it
off
New
guard.
Year Day or is it New Year's Day?
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Anyways. Yeah. So AI is crazy. There's gonna be two types of people. There's gonna be people that like.
Can we talk about how you discovered it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to go there.
I'm getting there. And that's
Okay.
my intro.
Oh,
It's like getting
did
there.
you already have an intro planned?
No,
Okay.
I just like when I talk, and this is what I realized. What I appreciate about the chocolate covered coffee beans.
Yeah.
Like when I talk about things I'm knowledgeable about and I'm excited about, and this is the same with people. I can like kind of build this like reveal,
Right.
and so it ends up being a story. And I think I enjoy doing that. So, anyway, there are kind of two types of people that in the world right now when it comes to AI. There's the type of people that are aware of it and have like kind of been paying attention to it, or maybe they have been fully paying attention to it, but they understand the reality of what it represents to the future of our world. And then there's other people that are that don't even understand it yet, or like realize it, and maybe they kind of know what it is, maybe they don't even know anything about it, but they're just kind of like oblivious to what is coming, I feel like. I up until November 30th, which is a date that a lot of people will probably resonate with, this last year, I was in the other camp of not really understanding what it is or its application. You know, I understood kind of the idea of it, but didn't understand the reality of this. I'm like talking like you don't even understand it. Like if you don't understand it, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. So anyway, on November 30th, a company, this open source company, released their access to their database, for which they created an AI language model, which basically is an AI super computer or human, whatever you want to say. And they created an interface that allows everyday humans to be able to interact with it.
Chat.
So it's a chatbot, ChatGPT, and I discovered this. Well, I didn't discover this. I was on the internet, and when you're on the internet, you see what it took off like crazy. So anybody that's like in the works on the internet heard about it, and so right away, like I started experimenting with it, and it day one like blew my mind. And like since then, every single day there's like a new application for how, first of all, how I can use this simple chat interface, which is like this much of its potential. And there's new companies releasing integrations with this company's access to this database that are like turning the workforce upside down day by day. It's hard to even talk about it because it's like I'm trying to think about I'm trying to think about who I'm talking to right now.
Right.
That's why I'm having a hard time. It's like who am I talking to? And I don't have someone in my mind, so I have to like think about who I'm talking about too. Anyway, so this is crazy. If you want to learn more about the specifics or anything about it, like go research it. I think the angle that we have and who I am talking to is like, all right, what does this mean for the future and like the world our children are going to grow up in?
Yep.
And I think that's where my mind went. A lot of the people that I work with in the digital scene either kind of dismiss, they don't think, they're not future thinking in terms of like how am I going to help my children navigate this, as much as they think about the future in general. And then, or they just don't have kids, and so they don't think that way. So most people that are in this industry, there's no conversation about like, what does this mean for our children? Like this next generation that's growing up in it. There's some conversation around like people in college and high school now, but they're going to end up being like us. They're kind of adopters, where it's like our kids are not adopters. Like they're going to grow up in it. So
the day that you discovered it.
Let me know. It's just like
I know, but so I know. It's too much. Okay, so
I wasn't right. I needed to warm up more. You were like, yeah, go.
Well, I just wanted to give you the effect of how the new year hit.
Yeah,
me.
why don't you go for a little bit?
Okay. No, so this chat thing. Shoot, Zoe, place.
You think she's gonna pee?
She's like, I'm just hot. So this chat bot, you were like, Breck. I think I was at home and you were like, Breck. No, you came home and you came storming up the stairs and you were like, Breck, I have to talk to you right now. Come here, I gotta show you something.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And so I come down with you to the office here because you were at your office there. And you pull it up and you were like, check this out. And you were trying to explain it to me. And it was like seeing a computer interact like a human, answering questions in no time at all. Like writing out. So Kylan was pretty much showing me all these things that he could ask it to do. Like, write a resume for this, write a blog post about this, write a story about this, asking a question, is this, safe to do? Is this safe to eat? Is this anything?
Yeah.
Like, literally anything.
So that my first exposure to it was just like, what are its capabilities? What are its limitations? Like for me, like my ability to interact with it. Obviously, I'm not exposing the code or anything on the back end. But it was like, how can you interact with this thing? And how can you manipulate interactions to get more out of the dialogue than you would with a simple prompt. And so that first day it was like, this is crazy because you can do a lot of stuff. Day 2, I'm like starting to like wrap my head around like immediate real world application. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, there's real ways that I can use this with website work and client work. Like that's not like completely.
So like he'll have clients that they haven't given you any information or words to write on their website pages.
This. Yeah. So you can. When I design websites, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put in like sample copy, or I'll spend time writing sample copy because that's with small businesses, a lot of times that's the thing they struggle with. It's like, I can kind of tell you what my business
What's
is about,
yeah.
but without an example of what to write, it's hard to just write stuff.
Like you're about me
And
or
so
whatever it is.
I'll design a website and like say, write a sentence here that blah, 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 blah. You know, how about a paragraph here with a couple sentences? So I'll like legit frame it out like that for them.
You'll ask them to come back to you, right?
No, I'll put it in there, send them access to their website, and then they can rewrite it however they want in that spot.
Gotcha. Okay.
So immediately I'm like, oh, I can use ChatGPT to write content that is maybe instead of me doing it and I'm just giving them the prompts, I'm having ChatGPT
write the entire thing.
And it's, you know, it's not 100% of what they want, but for me delivering it, it's actually, it could go live and still be applicable. So that was like phase 1. Phase 2, I'm realizing that it does code. Like I can ask it to modify CSS or you know, make adjustments to like HTTP, like the back end of my website, basically, specific to Squarespace. So I'm like, how do I, you know, make all my buttons have a blue background on Squarespace? And it's like,
Writes out the whole code.
And like I'm familiar with like front end code and like have been, you know, it's not something that is like I'm fluent in, but it's like I can manipulate it really well. But it takes time. So when I have requests and I need to make requests to the code in order to alter it, it takes a lot of time. So immediately now I can just say, do this for me, pops it out. I have to audit it, obviously, but that's way less time than, you know, and it's been pretty flawless for front end stuff. That's way less time than me doing it myself. So now I'm all of a sudden like, it's even more of a crazy thought. Then I'm like, all right, what else? What other applications can I use this for? So I'm thinking about engagement, you know, email and social media and proposals, writing proposals. And what I'm realizing is, you know, a lot of people are writing it off as like gimmicky or like not really solving problems. And I think for me, what I've realized is it's like you can't just like ask it to do something and then take that response and be done with it. Like if that's all you're using it for, then yeah, it's gimmicky or just not solving problems. If you're able to develop a relationship with it, which is weird me even saying it this way, that's where it starts to be effective.
It's learning you have a username for this chat bot, right? No. Didn't you download it? Like I can't just use it on my phone. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I have an account.
So like you have an account.
It's not. So this version is not that. This version is not learning. It will keep track of conversations within a thread.
Okay.
But when I make a new thread, at this point, it's not like it's not like tying those pieces together.
Oh, okay. I thought that
that's the future of AI. The reality of AI is like I'll sync it with the contacts in my phone, all my texts I've ever sent, all my order history, my conversations. I'll have it transcribe all my phone conversations.
It will literally
It'll
learn
listen to us in our room right now.
How you talk and communicate, and it will try to help you do that.
Well,
so you don't have to.
And I'll be able to wake up in the morning and be like, hey, you know, Alan or Siri or whatever the heck we want to call it. You know, go through my email list today and you know, respond to everybody for me. How I would respond. I wouldn't have to say that. Like it'll already know to do that, but it's like that's an idea or that's a concept of how it would be applicable. And it's like we're gonna be replaceable. Like those 90% of what we do in the workforce is going to be replaced. Yeah. In 10 years or less.
Yeah. So like greater concern of AI is like, whoa, okay, so we could potentially have this artificial intelligence that is continually learning us and studying everything that's online, which here's the problem, which we talked about yesterday, was like everything that's online isn't necessarily a representation of what's going on in the actual real world, you know? And that's the problem of like seeing, you know, we can see stuff on news outlets and go, okay, like that's being portrayed, you know, negatively or it's inaccurate. Yeah. but I'm just thinking about how, like, if you have this artificial intelligence that's learning everything and it's gonna, like, what is gonna happen?
We don't know what we don't know. So like,
Right.
I know a lot of people want to go there and kind of look at like worst case scenario and stuff, but it's like,
Right.
what?
Nothing. It's just crazy. Slap me. Ooh. Wow. I don't know. It was random. I don't know why I did that.
Okay.
It's fine.
Anyway, like I don't think it's worth spending energy
Sure.
like trying to predict how it's going to be bad
Sure.
as much as it's worth paying attention to it right now.
Sure. But with our kids, it's like, you know, thinking about how much this is going to be a part of their life, like it's not going away. And even how, like, what is their education? Those are the questions that I have. It's like, what do we need to teach them that they're not going to have the, you know, like they'll have immediate answers to things that they're supposed to memorize for no reason other than, like, I had to memorize all of the presidents in 8th grade for no reason.
Yeah,
like,
literally for no reason.
I'm just saying, but like, why, and like, anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just saying, there's so many random things, random facts that our kids are learning and that we're having them do work.
What balance do you plan? Because like you can make the argument that it's like all of this could crash, and you know, or like it could be manipulated, or it could be hacked, or whatever. But it's like, how do you plan for all those scenarios versus what we've been talking about is like, all right, instead of like trying to find the right ingredients of things we can predict from our limited view of what the future is going to look like, which we can, there's no way we can predict it. And what I've been saying to you and everybody that I've been like conversing with this or about this is the same way that like someone who reaches 100 years old today and looks at like technology today and goes, I don't get it. You know, it's like this doesn't make sense to me. It's the world is completely foreign to me. I feel like that same lack of understanding will be our age in 10 years from now.
So you're saying like 30-year-olds, 10 years.
In 2030.
When we
40-year-olds will be like 80-year-olds now. Like,
sure.
Like I could, some people will be able to keep up with it. There's some 80-year-olds now that are like, do just fine. And then majority of the 80-year-olds are like, yeah, I'm reaching my capacity here. I cannot keep up anymore. And that'll be 40-year-olds.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I was just reading, anyway, I was reading an article about population, anyway, which then is a whole different concern given that idea of like population collapse,
yeah.
And how with this thought that you just brought up about, you know, it's like if our mental capacity is obsolete at a certain age, you know, like if we're not willing to try and learn and grow with something, then and that becomes obsolete, then like what does that do not only for our next anyway.
And that's my concern, like even to my friends, is like it's easy to look at this and go, holy crap, this is overwhelming. I don't want to be any part of this or have any part of this. And then basically say, the problem is I'm concerned that it's like, how long can you live outside of that before it's inevitable?
Right.
And especially like with your kids, and this is what we've been talking about with just even with like, where do we launch our kids into the world from? We got less than 10 years, and like our kids are going to kind of be done with us in the reality.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up?
It sounded like rain, but what was that? Anyway, that was weird.
Anyway, so because of that, it's like, all right, if we decide this is too scary, we don't understand it, or we do understand, we don't want any part of this, and we say we're not gonna
hide in the woods.
We're gonna hide in the woods. When our kids grow up, they're going to have to make a decision: do I want to keep hiding, or do I want to go like figure out is there a way to find a balance here, or the opposite of like I'm a rebel and I'm just gonna eat it all, you know? It's like, so I don't think it would be healthy for us to hide in the woods at this point. That being said, that doesn't mean like we shouldn't be cautious or shouldn't just like, be the first to like start syncing everything and get plugged into Elon's chip and everything, Neuralink or whatever. But I think it's important for us to pay attention. And that's, I think, my conversation, a lot of people like look at this like the way I've been like I guess investing in it as like me being excited about it. And I don't think I'm excited about it as much as it is an exciting thing. Like there's exciting in the sense that like how can you not?
Well, I think the interesting thing about this versus like other, I hear a lot of like into the world, this is gonna happen. It's like this is something that real people are talking about and they continue to bring up, and the progression of it is like it is right there in front of our face. And the fact that Elon Musk is going to talk to Barack Obama and in Congress and all these other things are like, I feel like there's just so many different things that are happening right now that are so right in front of us that I'm like, oh wow, okay, maybe I should turn my ear towards it and go, what's going on? Just for the sake of my children. Yeah. Just for the sake of us.
We're going to sound... The hard thing about even this conversation is we know this much. So it's like we're...
Just imagine
to try to make a statement about it
5 years from now.
And 5 months from now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. No, I know. That's crazy.
So...
So, our kids, man, what are you going to... Like, what do you even... You just have to keep starting. I love what you said yesterday is, like, having conversations with them about, like, just learning. Like, what is the importance of, like, learning how to learn and being interested in something and, like, being a problem solver. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, and it's like, this version of this tool of what AI can be is a chat interface. And there's already people that are struggling to find ways to reach its potential. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like Google. This is what, I've explained it to you, is like, there's, Google's been around, and like this, we're kind of in the Google generation. We are kind of the Google generation. Maybe our age and younger is part of the Google generation. It's like Google's kind of always been available to search for kids that are like Ashton's age. So maybe 5 years younger than us. Gen Z, if you will, is the Google generation. There are people that are good at searching Google, right? So when you say, like, go Google someone or go Google something to someone, like, you could have two different people and they could come up with completely different, like, results, vastly different results. And it comes down to they have access to the same things. And this is not a conversation about the algorithm. Let's say we put them on the exact same computer, same device with the same algorithm. Mm-hmm. It comes down to their ability to
ask the right questions,
initiate the prompts, or like use the tool essentially. Yeah. And so some people understand it and know how to get to the answer, and some people don't. And I experience this constantly, whether it's with clients or family or friends. It's like when you're sitting around and someone's like looking something up. And then you're kind of like, well, I'll try this. And it's like, it's kind of like a non-direct way of searching for something. Or it's even like last night we were playing charades with the kids. Mm-hmm. And you have to act out an item, mm-hmm. right? And like Greta got cell phone, and she's younger, she's 4. And so when she did cell phone.
She took that literally, like act like a cell phone.
Explaining that.
Yeah.
So she just stood there and just like stood like a cell phone. She didn't do any movements. She didn't do anything. So, like, to her, she took the instruction and said, I'm supposed to be a cell phone for them to guess cell phone. But she wasn't, part of it is her age, and part of it is just, like, she got it throughout the night. But there's an element of understanding this isn't working. What can I keep trying? How can I, like, attack this from different angles? And I think that's part of being a problem solver. And maybe, like, traditionally...
and learning the rules of the game. Learning that you can act like the thing, not be the thing, Or, like, but yeah. Her understanding, like, that was the thing, is, like, some of our other kids were willing to, like, can I make a noise? Can I do, like, they're kind of trying to find the parameters. Where you do have a lot of rule followers that are just, like, this is what I was told. Sure. This is how I'm gonna research it, and yep. that's a learned thing, and I thought that was interesting to know. But also, it's her age, and
Well, and again, it's her age. She hasn't been in a lot of situations where she gets to explore that, mm-hmm, and so mm-hmm. that was a good thing for her. By the night going on, she was using me as a stovetop, and right. like so. yeah, so it's like I would argue that like those exercises are good for that. And so the point I was making there is like you kind of have to think about it. You have to be able to attack it from different angles. And the people that the people that are good at that are going to be the people that thrive, not are successful per se in terms of like what we deem as successful, but they're going to be the people that are solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be the people that are like recognizing problems and solving them. Again, not just from the world hunger, but even if there's issues with the way that culture is progressing, there's going to be problem solvers that are recognizing that and be able to pull back and attack it from different angles. And I think that's something that, like, if we can figure out a way to teach our kids to use those tools, but also not just use them for the way they're intended, but like experiment and really pay attention to what is the goal here and what's important for us to do, then I'm less scared about the tool being around them.
Right.
Whereas if you don't do that, then I think as parents, you tend to be more fearful of like, I don't want this thing to control them.
Well, in talking about the dangers of it with them, I'm realizing like Miles and Briar are already at that point where they're understanding, oh, that could, like when they start to understand that things could go badly or that there's a downside to social media or to YouTube, like we've had those types of conversations with our kids to where, because we didn't have those conversations with our parents because we grew up in a completely
it's not an objective danger. That's the thing.
I'm saying
it's
just being open
giving
to
them,
the idea
you're
of
facilitating
it without being
the conversation.
Fearful. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like you can approach something with like, hey, like,
well, and that's why we went around the table and told, like, it was kind of spur of the moment and it happened to be the New Year's Eve. But we went around the table and like had everyone say one thing that they appreciate about another kid. And one thing that like I thought of for one of our kids was like he has a sword and like it's this like weapon that I feel like he like has, and it's like I like it's not material enough for me to say like I gave it to him or you gave it to him. It's like he has a sword, and he's like been experimenting with his sword and like using it,
right.
And I feel like he's going to be able to like fight some serious dragons with his sword, because at his age, like he's using a sword a lot more than most people don't realize they have a sword even at this age, and he's already using a sword,
right?
And so that's something that I think that's like an example of like a characteristic that I think is like we can look at examples like that and try to figure out how we can encourage that in our children, and those are going to be the things that help lead to them living a impactful, I won't say fulfilled life, but an impactful life in this next season of like there's nothing we can practically hand down to our kids anymore that they're not going to be able to get themselves. And I think that's the reality, is like they're going to have so much access to so much information beyond our understanding, and we will too. Like we're not out of it, but it's just like in terms of like what you do as a parent, it's like how can we teach them to... There's
a foundational thing that needs to be set in children, though. And so that's what we can do. You know, we can set that foundation, and so it's nice and sturdy, to the best of our ability,
Yep. But And I think the other thing is just like having conversations about it. And that's the thing. If you hide out in the woods...
mentally and and literally.
Yeah, I think that you're going to have some problems when you do decide to start introducing things, because
you're going to have some problems with the people that you love not wanting to do that as well. That's going to be your biggest issue, is all that fear,
Which that shouldn't be a motivating thing.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's something that you should consider, right?
I think the biggest thing for me is, like, it's easy as a parent to go, I want to protect my kid from this world, so I'm going to unplug and, like, not do anything and go hide in the woods, right? the problem is most parents don't think past like raising their kids. So it's like, okay, your kid turns 17, 18, 19. They're done living with you. Now what? What have you prepared them to do? Nothing. You haven't prepared. Hide in the woods. That's all they know. And so what happens is they take one, and we've been talking about this a lot. They take one step outside of that bubble that you created, and they're 100% unfamiliar with the world that they're in. And that was just one step. Now, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. They're continually pressing on and more unfamiliar. So yes, the world you created was perfect and was safe and pure. But the reality is, unless we're all living in the woods, or there's like a reality of like a community and a future living in the woods, especially with 4 kids, there's chances are not all our kids are going to want to stay in the woods with us.
Right. Well, and then that's the thing too, is like if you have the conversation and your kids are knowledgeable and understanding of the world around them, then they can. Frankie wants on here. That's weird.
I don't think he knows the dogs right here.
No. Then they might deliberately decide to be in the woods with you, right? You know? Yeah. That's crazy. Does he see?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, boy. Is he going back?
No, it's right.
Cats and dogs. Stay. Good girls. Stay. Good girls.
Anyway, yeah. There's yeah, we just need to keep talking about this.
Yeah.
As a family, as a society, like within friend groups. I think when you don't talk about this kind of stuff, especially stuff that's going to be this impactful on like the reality of how we live our lives, it's just important to talk about it. And so, you know, I think sometimes people feel this and maybe it's not as evident. And so it's hard for them to figure out, like, how do I bring this up without sounding, you know, like fearful of the future, or like I'm a tinfoil hat wearer.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this is a little bit more like, widely acknowledged at this point. So
right.
It's like, how do you not start to look at the reality of what this is? So
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what to do from here.
No.
Where to go for that? Just keep conversations going, I guess.
Yep.
So, in the meantime,
I'm thankful for you, because I'm that type of person that's like, oh, I don't get it, so just okay, sounds good. This sounds confusing. That sounds hard, you know. So it's nice to have someone that's like, hey.
I don't think it will be. I think it'll just like month over month. It'll just become more and more like evident what it is.
Right. I'm just saying, like, it's nice to kind of like be able to like try to view it like as it's happening versus getting smacked in the face by the snowball, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that's one thing that I didn't get smacked in the face by the snowball with. I don't know. We'll see.
Or the marshmallow.
The marshmallow. Oh, yeah.
Because when I hit you in the face with the marshmallow.
Yeah, I wasn't in the mood for that.
Yeah, that was a big one. Anyway, 2023, baby. Starting off with a bang. We're going to figure out how to podcast again.
Yeah, and I got to come up with... I just need to prepare for myself.
Yeah. Well,
for this year. I don't know. I just
prepare
need
for a podcast.
Yes.
When we have notes, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Or have a collective conversation.
Yeah.
Prepare for our days. Prepare for our weeks. Prepare for our goals.
Yes.
What goals we want. Anyway, do you want to have a meeting with me?
Yes.
Cool.